Hey guys, welcome to Ghana Down Under. In today's video we'll be previewing the big Swansea versus Arsenal match. It's going to be an interesting one. We are obviously all a bit frustrated with how the team performed midweek against Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously we got knocked out 3-0 and didn't really give them anything. Which was disappointing for a lot of the away fans that travelled there, and a lot of them travelled 6 hours by coach. And now I'm not going to make a big deal about this because it wasn't our full strength team. Let's not get carried away. The biggest thing to come from the game wasn't actually the loss, it was the loss of two players, Chamberlain and Walcott. It seems like when one gets injured, the other one just has to follow suit, and they just kind of have an off season on their own. So I think Arsene Wenger said they're going to be out for the next 3 matches, which isn't bad. Obviously, there's a big Bayern Munich game in those 3, but I think they might be back just after the North London derby or just before that. So that's good news. That's pretty much the only good news. This kind of affects the way we're going to be playing against Swansea. So a lot of people have a couple of different scenarios to the way we're going to go. So comment below and tell me what you think was going to happen. Some people say bring Chambers in, put him on the right, and then put Bellerin as the right winger because he pretty much plays like that. Some people think that Bellerin's just as good on the right wing as anyone else, so we could just play him as a right back and not have a right winger, and he could do both. So that's pretty ridiculous. But I think the most realistic thing is just kind of a straight swap for Chamberlain with Campbell on the right, and then we'll just probably start off with Giroud up top. And go from there really, and leave Cazorla in the middle, because a lot of people think that there's a chance we're going to shift Cazorla out onto the right wing and then bring in a Flamini or something in the midfield along with Coquelin, which I think is a bit too defensive. But against Swansea, you never know, because with the likes of Ayew, Sigurdsson, and they got Taylor up, in defence that's doing a really good job. Gomez, he's really dangerous, and Montero, who's pretty much ripped us a new one usually. But this has been without Bellerin as right back. They've got a few options that can hurt us, but I think that with our injuries, if we just come back and forget about midweek, and Ozil's had a break, Sanchez has had a break, Cech had a bit of a weird game. It looked like he didn't give a shit pretty much with some of the goals. He's pretty much come off and kept Bayern Munich out, and then he's coughed up 3 pretty much, in the space of 50 minutes against Sheffield Wednesday, who, to be fair, were unbeaten in about 6 matches, but it's no excuse when you're battling for the Premier League. You should win those games. So I'm looking for Campbell to have a big one when he comes in. He hasn't really affected a game and grabbed it by the scruff of the neck, so I'm hoping he does that. Giroud obviously hasn't probably started a match in a long time. He's usually pretty effective off the bench these days, but it looks like it's going to be a different structure unless we go Sanchez up front, Campbell right, and then I don't know, put Ozil on the left and shift Cazorla into the 10, and then bring Flamini and Coquelin. There's a number of different scenarios that Arsene Wenger could go with. I don't know what he's going to do. I think it's just going to be straight Campbell and then Giroud start. I think that's how it's going to at least start. And then the defence pretty much stay exactly the same. Monreal, Koscielny, Gabriel, and Bellerin on the right with Cech in goal. So I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be a tough 2-1 win. Fabianski's always been, on form against us lately. He keeps us out, and we haven't had a great history against Swansea. They're 1 win in their past 6 in the Premier League, whereas we're 5 in a row or 4 in a row, so we're in pretty good form. And, there's some big games. There's Liverpool, Chelsea, so if we can win and then they can kind of beat each other up and continue to take points off each other before we play them, and before we, get into the North London derbies and the Manchester City matches, then it's a big thing to do, and we need to respond from midweek, I think. Despite a lot of the players being missing, it's just the club. It's Arsenal losing to Sheffield Wednesday. It's just that brand. It's just, you don't want to continue to see that, because that's how we were, say, 4 years ago. And we all thought after Bayern Munich and after Manchester United matches and the Liverpool matches last year with 4-1 that those sort of drops won't happen, and that the overall standard would step up. But obviously, you are prone to this. But the best thing was that Chelsea got knocked out. Manchester United, I think, got knocked out on penalties. There were a few surprises, so we weren't the only ones, which is the only thing to take from it. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Please subscribe and comment below who you think is going to win. See you later.